Hip hop made me do it.
I'm Gabby.
I'm Julie.
We're from Left Hand.
And we're here with DJ Toasty. Z.
You got a moment like baby. We in this church, save me. I do not fuck with you, maybe. I don't know who you are lately. You got a moment like baby. We in this church, like save me. I don't know fuck with you, maybe. I don't know who you are lately.
DJ Toasty Z, you already know what it is. It's hip hop made me do it. We're all the way on the left coast, chilling with none other than Left Hand.
Hi.
How's it going today?
Good.
And we got Gabby as well.
Hey.
So just to start off, if you had to say like, who is Left Hand?
Who? Left Hand's actually a lot of people. It first started out collabing with artists like the Dark World kids.
Yeah.
And that was like the main foundation. And the more it goes, the like more years go by, the less it's like super collaborative. But I would say right now, Left Hand is us. But it's been so many different people at different times.
Awesome. And I was curious, like, how'd you originally get into designing clothes?
I always liked shopping a lot. And then I guess my mom was like, why don't you learn how to make your own clothes? So she like took me over to our neighbor's house that sewed. And then I started making ribbon belts, like polka dotted, preppy ribbon belts. And that was the first thing I made. And then I sold one to my teacher. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Like, I can make $40 off of this. And then I just stuck with it because I really liked it. It was like, instead of like my friends doing sports or piano or whatever, it was like my thing. And then I like realized I wanted to go to college for it too and do all that. But I never actually thought I'd get, like it would get this far. I never thought I'd have like my own brand and like live in LA and like do that for a living.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And what age did you actually start doing that?
I moved to LA when I was 22.
No, I meant like designing like you're talking about
fourth grade.
Okay.
Fourth grade. Fourth grade, I made my first piece that was like auctioned off and was a big deal. So I think like third grade was when it first started. And then like from fourth grade on, it was like a daily thing. And then I like started like a fashion program at my high school and that kind of thing. So I could like, so I realized like if I started an independent study, I could be sewing the whole time and not going to math or science. So I just had my own classroom and like I remember I made a dress out of balls from a McDonald's ball pit.
That's wild.
Yeah, it fell apart immediately. It was hot glue, and the second the girl put it on, it just like, but I like got to spend weeks making this thing in school, so that was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my high school was really cool for that. They like let me just get, you know, like the main classes out of the way and then just let me do my thing.
That's fire. That's fire. And what's interesting I find is, you know, there's a lot of brands out there, a lot of people, you know, designing clothes, but, you know, you're one of the few designers that I noticed is like making, you know, hand sewn one-off pieces, which I think is really unique. And I'm curious, like, what motivated you to do that?
I think the most fun part about having a brand is actually making it yourself. Like, the actual crafting of it is way more fun than just like dictating to other people. And then, even though that's nice too, you know, to like just not have to like be too hands-on and then you get what you want. But you get to like, when you get to make it yourself, you're using your brain and you're also like crafting, which is fun. It's like literally like scrapbooking. Like Left Hand is like scrapbooking on clothes. Like being a grandma. Like,
Did you collage a lot as a kid?
That's so funny. Yeah, that was my thing, was like teen Vogues ripped up, like words all over the place with like Mod Podge, and like I would do it on my like desks and dressers. Like my room was just like my dresser, my bed frame was like magazine clippings like glued to my bed frame. It looked insane. But that's really where it started, was like paper collaging. My mom was like a super scrapbooker. My dad was a photographer, so she would take his photos and like put stickers that were like, look at our family or whatever. And then I would do that with her. And then I started just cutting up magazines instead of like photos of our family. And then it just kind of, that's where the patches came from.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's interesting because I feel like there's a lot of unique patches. And I'm curious, like, where do you source your patches from? Do you look for themes and how do you actually go about
all over, like
patches?
Definitely themes. Of course, there's like reoccurring themes, like whatever's inspired me since I was a kid. Like any early 2000s, that was, of course, like love that kind of thing. Also, like grunge to a little bit, but like still like rainbow bright grunge.
Yeah, it's the contrast of the grunge with the bright colors.
Yeah, like I was definitely that scene girl that like I was wearing big eyeliner and like had that short haircut, but I was wearing like the rainbow studded belt, not the like black and white one. So the patches come from all over. Like some of them are just Google images that I like run through one Photoshop like edit and like threshold it, and then it makes it like black and white, and then it's a patch.
Yeah.
But the ones that I'm like iffy about, I'll just make one of. The ones I love, I'll make huge and make like 10 of them. But a lot of them are collabs. Some of them are like my friend's art that they're just like, here, I drew this, put it on something, whatever, or like art that I make myself. But it's getting the patches are getting more like strategic. They're not so scattered because there's literally, that box is like thousands of patches from over the years that are like, some of them are like, what?
Yeah.
What is that? Like, that's an ugly image. But like, when you put them all together, you can tell a pretty cool story.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you originally link up with Gabby, and what do you guys?
We met at our job in LA.
Nice.
So we like met and immediately like I feel like got along, and then we'd just talk at work like when there was no one in the store. And she moved here, started going to FITM, and like I like asked her to model for Left Hand one day.
Yeah.
And then I think we like went and like then she was like, oh, like I don't know, at some point you like mentioned that you like to like fuck clothes up too, or like you were like interested. And then I was living on Melrose, she was living in like an apartment downtown. And then one day I remember waking up and looking on Instagram, and she was painting on jeans, and I was like, oh shit, she's good. She was painting flames. So that's how she started. Like, she's painting really cool flame jeans. So like we decided to move in together, and then we were both just doing our own thing, but like we would just be there to like bounce back and forth, like, oh, this stylist is cool, this stylist sucks, like those look good, that does it. And we'd just be up all night. Like, she was painting, I was sewing, and we did like a few collabs, but like never really thought about conjoining our brands until like 2 years later. Now we're like, one day randomly she texted me, she's like, what if we do this? I was like, that's genius. I was like, how the hell have we not thought of that? Like, we live in the same house, we have the same clientele, we like do similar shit.
This makes sense.
Yeah. And like just like power in numbers, and like then we can have like painted aspects, sewed aspects. Like, she also does like production stuff, and like, so there's just so much to learn, and so many things. Like, there's also obviously like embroidery too, and so many things we haven't explored. So it's like, we just want to like expand, keep crafting, and like, but also like make it big enough so it's not so like hard to get, but like still kind of hard to get. Yeah,
for sure. And it's interesting because it's like you guys probably have very different strengths, and together you can make something really crazy.
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah, that's definitely the best part about working together, is like you play, like you have two people now. Like you had some things that you're really good at, but there's always a lot of things that you're not very good at by yourself. So it's like when you have two people with like two different like strong skill sets, it like you can just like take over.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Domination time.
And we're literally opposite. Like, we're similar in some ways, and we're both Virgos, but like she's really neat on her shit. I'm like spacey, and like, so together we're just like, okay, we're getting this done. It gets done. Like alone, I'll be like, I'll have the same idea for years and be like, I really want to make this happen.
And I'm like, let's just do it.
Yeah, she's like, all right, so Saturday?
Yeah.
like
pick a time.
Yep.
Let's
It's
do
like,
it.
all right, it's not like we're making it happen. We can. Let's do it.
We will.
Awesome. And so you've gotten your designs on a bunch of big, celebrities, big people, Rihanna, Kendall Jenner, Beyonce, Tommy Genesis. Like, I'm curious, like, do you have any, like, interesting stories of how any of those came about, or?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of which ones I can share, but I don't know. Sometimes it works out and it's really good, but sometimes it's insane. But I'll say, like, the Beyonce, like, pregnant pants. Because they brought me these jeans with, like, elastic bands, and they're like, we have, like, 12 hours and we need them, like, completely distressed. And, like, if you've ever distressed jeans before, you're just sitting there, like, picking threads, like, one by one.
Yeah.
So it was my intern and I just sitting there all night long scratching at jeans, like, and we're just like, and I remember I took them out of the wash and they looked like shit, but she had to get on a plane. I was like, they're gonna be mad at me, like, and then all of a sudden I see her like, people start tagging you. That's how it works. And then I was like, damn,
it's like they know.
They took them before they were out of the dryer. So I only saw them in the wash because they only had that much time. So I didn't even know what they looked like. And then I was like, they look really bad from what I can see. And the girl, like, came really quick and, like, grabbed them. And I was like, uh-oh. Like, she was, like, intimidating. And then all of a sudden she's wearing it. And I was like, whoa. Like, Beyonce probably had so many pairs of jeans that she could have worn. And she wore those. Okay. We did a good job.
Yeah.
And, like, what else is a good story? Tommy was, like, natural. Like, but she just is such an artist herself too, that she appreciates what we appreciate, like the one of a kind, like the like hand sewn DIY vibe. So I think that's why she was so like, this is cool. But she's actually one of my best friends now. Like she like took me under her wing and was like putting me on her like tour posters and stuff, like branding Left Hand, like brought me along the way the whole time. She's really like the coolest, most down to earth person. And she still to this day like helps me with, I'll be like, what should I price this actually? So I was like, you make things too cheap. And she's like, will get mad at me. She's like, why do you sell this so cheap so fast? Like, and she's like, she'll say some crazy price and then I'll do it and it sells for that much. I'm like, okay. She knows what she's talking about. Like she literally knows what she's talking about. What other stories? Well, I've never said this on an interview, but
oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know if we should put that in there, but I don't know if I edit this part out, but I don't know if I want that in there. What do you think? I feel like it's not a good thing to say.
Fair enough. And was Rihanna the first like wow moment where you're like or like what was the like
Yeah, definitely. Rihanna, it was cool. Honestly, the stores that hit me up to sell it at first were like such cool stores like in the fashion industry. So that was an honor. And then it was simultaneously that I had just gotten my stuff in like this really cool store in Japan and one in New York that she wore that. And then right after her was Sway Lee. And it was cool because he like, instead of getting it through me somehow just like walked into a store and bought it. So then I see it on them. That was tight. And like, I appreciate any guys that are daring enough to wear this stuff. Cause some guys like love it, but they like put it on and they're like, feel better in their like black skinny jeans. Yeah, for sure. So like,
and they're Gucci. And like
Sway Lee is like, those dudes are cool. Ray Shremmer, like
definitely
they wear weird stuff.
Yeah, they're cool.
But yeah, there's been so many. That really is the cool thing about. Oh yeah, Little Peep was tight. I was honored because I feel like he obviously had so many clothes to choose from too. But that really is the cool thing about LA is like there's literally a stylist every single week that hits you up like, oh, Rich the Kid, Migos, Beyonce, Ariana Grande, like from anyone, people you'd be like, their style has nothing to do with this. Like coming through like every single week or like, oh, there's a Nike shoot and they need some like extra pieces because they're focusing on a shoe, like whatever it is. So it's like, it's just cool when they actually choose to wear it when there's like 3 racks filled of like Gucci and Balenciaga, and the artist is like, wait, that is cool.
Because
like,
their stylist is picking out tons of stuff, and they're like, you know what, this is the thing I want to rock because it's so unique compared to like, you know, most designer shit that's like, you know.
And it's like, or we've already seen it. It's like, cool, it's Gucci, it's amazing, but it's like now
it's been done.
Your friend wore it in his video, you're wearing it all over your Instagram, and now you're just going to wear it in your video because you've been told it's cool, but you know it's already cool because it's Gucci. It's just like, be a little bit more daring and like,
trend setting.
Yeah. Also, like, for artists, I think it's important to, like, if they have a fashion sense, to, like, be a fashion icon. Because, like, that is Rihanna, if you think about it. Like, she's an incredible musician, but she's also known for wearing weird, crazy clothes. And, like, I mean, there's other artists like Lady Gaga that obviously wear, like, meat dresses or whatever. But, like, that, I think that is a way to be, like, a mogul human, you know? Just, like, I'm a really talented artist. I also, you guys look up to my clothes and like everything I do all day.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, it's good for them and obviously us. And then it's like, it's just fun. You have this like weird tingly like feeling inside when they wear it, and you're getting your Instagrams like going crazy, and you're like, oh shit. Like,
it's like a surreal feeling.
Everyone at home is freaking out.
Yeah. Oh my God. You literally, it feels like you just graduated college. Like your grandparents are texting you, I'm so proud of you.
Like, how'd you do that?
Yeah. Everyone's like, how'd you do that? And like, I don't know, but the goal is a Grammys look. We need a Grammys look. Like a real, like,
just a
red carpet moment. And, like, I really want to get Obama's daughters.
Oh, that'd be fire.
Yeah. Or, like, some cool, like, older person, too.
Or
like, I really want Dolly Parton. I'm, like, on a mission. She would look really cool.
That's
and, like, yeah, someone, like, I think now my goals to, like, who to dress aren't even, like, our day-to-day celebrities that we all like look up to. It's more like odd ones. Yeah, like
who are some other ones?
I mean, that's a hard question, like right on the spot. I would say,
I mean, even like Paris Hilton, even though she's like celebrity, but that would be tight. Because I know she is trying to like wear more current brands. Yeah, she's
like be a teenager again.
Exactly. So that'd be kind of tight if we could get her to wear some Left Hand.
Or like Dennis Rodman, I would love, because he was always a fashion icon. Like I would love to have a piece on him, or like
that'd be wild.
Even like instead of shooting for big artists, like picking like one hit wonders, like like people that are like that. Not that they're a one-hit wonder. I love them. But, like, just people that nobody listens to anymore, doesn't care. Like, even, like, Missy Elliott or Queen Latifah. It's, like, people don't look to them to see what they're wearing every day. But it would be, like, whoa. Or, like, Meryl Streep, like, some old person.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, some random person just, like, rocking a hoodie going to yoga. Oh, Justin Bieber. That's the one Bieber current celebrity I really like him. I don't know why. Yeah, he's great. He's funny. He's a weirdo.
Love him.
Yeah, we like weirdly like we'll send each other videos of him back and forth. I don't know why. And then a baby. I want to get a celebrity kid, like a Kardashian kid, or I don't know. Everyone has kids. Beyonce has kids. Like
celebrity baby.
A celebrity baby.
DJ Khaled's son.
Oh, Assad. I've stopped recently, but I used to spend a decent amount of time watching his Snapchat just because Assad's so cute. Or even him himself.
And what was he saying? He had that weird phrase.
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
And the baby starts laughing. Aw. Yeah, something like randoms now. I want to do it more like unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because there are like, since I started, there's so many kids that are like doing not like the one of one, and of course they'll never do it like we do it. Yeah. But like just so many brands. There's so many brands now.
For sure.
So, and even I could go off on like lists. Like an Olympic athlete would be cool too. Yeah, I don't really know. Or like a basketball player.
Yeah, that would be tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, something unexpected.
Oh yeah. What's the Oh, I forgot what that basketball player's name is that came to Wild South. There's some of them that are really fashionable, though.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman. I've DM'd him before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, He didn't DM me back though. Do you think his DMs are really flooded?
Probably not.
That's
you
what
might
I
just
was
never
thinking.
check them, you know?
I was like, and like, I feel like Dolly Parton's DMs can't be that crazy. Like,
who knows?
yeah. And then like some form of like, it would be cool to like make like a stripper outfit and then just like have like a moment where you like make a video of like a girl dancing in like a like denim bikini or something, like with a really big butt. I like that.
So I guess you brought this up earlier, but I was curious, is like when you sell to, like you sold to some stores, I'm curious if like how you design differently if you're selling to a store versus individuals. Like, do you do like a series for a store? Like not like, obviously they're all one-offs, but like kind of things that are kind of a collection, if you will, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, usually like the colors will be similar, or like if we're doing like flame jeans, it'll be like a pink pair and then like a red flame pair. Mm-hmm. But we're actually trying to get more, like we're in a transitioning phase now. That's what we're working on, is like trying to be able to like not mass produce by any means, but like make 5 of something instead of like these sweatpants. Like obviously they're different, like the red's on this side on this pair and the orange is on this side, but it's like
they're unique, but they're in, you know, they're the same type.
But like you can, you know, those stores then can say like, I want 5 larges, and they'll be still slightly weirdly different, but like that way it's not just one.
Yes, for sure.
So that's what we're working on, is like finding cool silhouettes. Cause my thing is like, vintage clothes are amazing. Like the way that clothes were made, they were made so well back in the day. And now it's like the same way our food is. It's just like processed in like Forever 21 and cheap and fast fashion. So it's like, I don't want to use that as a blank. Like I don't want to like fuck that up. Like when you try to distress something from Forever 21, the whole thing falls apart. Versus like Levi's, it just like makes it like an art piece. So it's trying to like find the gap between like not just having sweatpants to mass produce, but like still keeping like the good quality vintage. Yeah. So we thrift a lot.
For sure. And it's interesting because it's like everything's so mass produced, but you can really, you know, tell the difference when, you know, everything's a one-off piece and it's high quality stuff. And, you know, when certain brands, you know, rip off, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I wish clothes were made well these days so we could use like the blanks that are around us. But yeah, no, I kind of worry like what's going to be vintage for our kids. Like what are they going to, like obviously there's high end stuff, but like, for like what about the middle? Yeah. Like is that Forever 21 shirt going to not like poof into the air because it's so plastic and polyester? It's going to like light on fire? Or is it going to be able to be on the rack at Goodwill for our kids because they're going to be thrifting too? Or are they going to be looking for the same vintage clothes we are? Because even like since this has started and since people are like making jeans out of vintage Levi's, like when she started doing the flame jeans, she like found a warehouse where she could buy like bulk of good fitting like mom jeans style pants, and like it's impossible now. Literally 2 years later, it's like, yeah, right. Like unless you have $60 a pair, don't even try.
For sure. And I'm curious, like, what would you say like the biggest challenge being a designer is, or just I'm
the most indecisive person.
Yeah,
that's my problem. Is like I will stare at something I laid out and like take pictures of it and walk away for days, and I'll like it and I'll still not just like lock it in. And then there's times when I'll be like, you need to be decisive, and I'll just make quick moves. And then I'll look at whatever I made and be like, what the fuck? Like that is the ugliest dress I've ever made. So it's like, for me, that's the biggest hurdle. Just like, I have so many ideas. It's insane. I'm literally like a fashion, like my brain is always like, I'm always like looking at things like, what could I make this? Or like, what can I do to this? Like that's, like even when my mom's like calling me about like my car insurance, I'm in my head, I'm thinking literally something about design somehow. So I hate that I can't execute all of my ideas because unfortunately there's 24 hours in a day and there's two of us, but it's like, yeah, that's the most frustrating because I feel like I'll come up with a genius idea, but then the execution of it doesn't always like fall into place on time. Do
you shelf a lot of things and like save them for later, or?
A lot. Yeah, definitely. Like the list of ideas, like if a brand like came to me or just sat in on one of our conversations, they would have collections for years because we both just would be like, oh my God, let's do this. And then we'll be like, oh wait, my laundry's ready. And then like we'll retouch on it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. So I think it would be helpful to like maybe have like a seamstress on board or like someone to help us like actually execute all of our ideas because they're actually so good. But I guess keeping some of them will help the brand last longer. Because if we were to just run every good idea, like where do you go when you need a new idea?
Yeah, you pull from like what you have and you're like, all right, let me tweak this or.
But yeah, one of my friends told me one time like you're gonna be fine, your brand's gonna be fine, like go back to your one of ones because you've probably made like 500 to 600 different things, like, and just grab little ideas and then like bring that back. Like he was always like, you don't milk it enough. Like you you'll come up with an idea one time, like, oh, this will be cool. You'll do it on one pair of jeans. And then you could have done it on a jacket, on shorts, on a skirt, and like just like push that theme for a while. So, for sure. But for me, like coming up with the ideas is so fun.
Yeah. Like
trying to figure out how to do it, that's when it gets a little tricky. But I do know like what's doable overnight and what's going to take a week or whatever.
For sure. And just to finish up, if you had one piece of advice to any designer trying to make it happen, what would that be?
Oh, goodness. Literally craft all the time. Like play with your, like just always be like trying shit. I think that for me, like actually the second I go to start being hands-on with it is when magic happens. Cause like we're talking about now, like ideas can go, but I guess that's not even the best advice. What would you say? I would say
that's good because it's like we were saying with the ideas, it's like you have so many ideas, but it's like the part that makes it work or that makes you a designer is like figuring out how you actually can make that into real life. Because like anyone can have ideas, we can all have similar ideas, but it's like
execution.
Yeah, it's like and not even just the execution, but just like the fact of you're like playing around, like she said, crafting to like figure out, is this even possible?
Yeah.
So
even if you're just like doodling or like sitting on Photoshop, like I don't even mean like go straight to clothes. Like you can be like making mock-ups. Like I used to just like drag a hoodie on Photoshop, drag a patch and be like, is this cool? And like send a few friends a picture and see like the honest friends, you know, the ones that'll be like, ew, that's ugly.
Yeah.
And then go from there. And then like, also, there is a place to make and do every art form that you see being done in like big cities. Like, it is much easier for us to do everything in LA because, of course, there's production downtown, there's cheap hoodies, there's all of that. But like, that's the beauty of the internet. One, two, like, there's a screen printing place in every city, and it might be $2 more than it is in LA for each shirt, but like, fuck it, it's $2. Yeah. Like there is a place where you can do embroidery. There's a place where you can thrift. And that's my main tip is the thrift store is literally your best friend.
So clutch. I go there all the time.
Some people like overlook it or they're weirded out by it. And it's like
cool one-off things that you can, you know, like no one's rocking this because it's, you know, there's one of them here, you know?
And then you don't feel as bad like if you fuck it up because it was $5. Like these jeans, you can literally cut them up, paint, and like try it. And like you might get frustrated because it doesn't look as pretty as you wanted it to, but like you didn't ruin some like fancy jeans that you just bought. Like you can literally put it in the trash can and move on. Like the thrift store. And one thing I didn't do is draw. Like if you just doodle even for like 20 minutes every day, you'll get good at it. No matter if you suck at it. I've always been really bad at drawing. And so I started like kind of avoiding it and doing more Photoshop. But like even just doodling, like I draw hearts a lot, and I'm so fucking good at drawing hearts because I draw them. That's what I do in the corner of every receipt or paper. Like, so it's like if you just start drawing faces or abstract, like you'll create a style and that will be able to translate onto your own clothes too.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that would be a good tip for designers. It's just like that 20 minutes that you spend scrolling on people's Instagrams when you don't want to be, draw.
Yeah. Fire. Yeah, I was a big doodler. I would do more doodles than notes in class.
Really?
It's weird. It would like help me by not writing everything down and just listening and just like doodling. It helped me like actually retain it because I'm like focusing on the words and doodling. You know,
it's
like
not even necessarily writing the words. It's the act of like. That's why people tell you to take notes. It's because you're paying attention because you have to like. It's like a weird,
brain.
yeah.
It's like two things. You're like listening and using your hand.
Essentially, it could be you writing the words down, or it could be you drawing something. But it's the action of like listening and using your pen. Yeah,
for sure. And that's pretty much all the questions I have. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we finish up?
No. I don't know how to say.
Any closing words?
Gabby's left hand now. Like, I don't even know how to say that. Yeah. Breaking news. Left hand and G Schwan are coming together.
Fire.
Watch out.
Watch out.
Domination time.
Yep.
You already know.
Yep.
Hip Hop Made Me Do It. DJ Toasty Z. We're with Left Hand. Killing the game. Keep it locked forever and always.
Love it. Bye.
Bye.
All right.
That was fun.
Fun.